let's talk about something people sometimes overlook. All right. So let's say you've had a lower income year than usual. All right. So if you were a business owner, maybe business was slower this year. If you're a high income earning professional, maybe you took some time off. Maybe you worked only part of the year, or maybe you're switching, you're in between jobs. But let's just say maybe just we'll say things didn't hit the same way this year from an income perspective. All right. So let's say normally you're in the 32% tax bracket, but this year dropped down to 24%. Okay. Because of that lower income. All right. And then you're also sitting on a $900,000 either traditional IRA or that's money from an old 401k. Now, what I want to point out is this is actually, it can be used as an opportunity. And let me show you why. Okay. Now, when your income drops, all right, your tax bracket can drop with it. Okay. Because if it's a significant amount, it can put you into a lower federal tax bracket. Okay. Now, that means that the cost of converting IRA money into a Roth just got cheaper for you. All right. Because remember, if you were the 32% bracket, you'd normally pay 32 cents on every dollar you convert. All right. But this year, due to being in a lower, having lower income and being in a lower bracket, now you're paying 24 cents on a dollar. Okay. So now that's a real difference. All right. And that $900,000 sitting in your IRA, it's still growing, which means every year you wait, the buyout gets more expensive. Okay. So a lower income year is really, it's an opportunity and it's a window potentially to act. All right. Now, so what does it actually look like? All right. Now, these are hypothetical projections here, assuming, and we're assuming an 8% annual growth rate. So it's just to illustrate the concept. All right. So if we were to pick a number, and they're pretty easy numbers to look at. So if you convert $1,000 this year, you pay $240 in federal taxes, as opposed to if you were in that higher bracket, the 32% bracket, you would be paying $320. So it's an $80 difference, okay, on that $1,000. All right. Now remember that $1,000 grows to over, and we see the numbers here. It's going to be over 2,100 in 10 years. All right. Again, assuming that 8% tax bracket, and then it's over 4,600 in 20 years. Now remember, that's all of it's going to be tax free because you bought out your business partner or the uh, IRS or the man with the big red, white, and blue hat, like I like to say. All right. All right, so if you scale that up, and we can see some numbers here, I would say we scale it up to 5,000. We can see the numbers, 10,000, right? 10,000 converted costs you, converting it costs you $24,000. Sorry, 2,400 today. All right, and that becomes over 46,000 in 20 years, as you can see. All right, and then if you were to choose a very large number, okay, or a larger number, that 25,000, if you were to convert that amount, it would cost you around $6,000 today, and then it grows to over $116,000 later on, tax free. All right. Now here you use the lower income year to buy out the IRS at a discount. Okay. All right. Now I want you to think of it like a store putting a sale on something you were really going to buy anyways. Okay. So remember that the IRS, all right, the man with the red, white, big red, white, and blue hat, he's going to get paid anyways, right? The only question is when and at what rate. Okay. So a lower income year for you is a sale. All right. All right. It's a sale. And what does it actually cost you to wait? Well, every year you don't act, that IRA keeps growing. And so does the eventual tax bill. So the window doesn't stay open forever. Okay. Now the move isn't to convert everything at once either, and this is where you need to be cautious. Okay. Um, it's to convert up to the top of your current bracket. Fill in the bracket is commonly the phrase you'll hear, right? Fill your bracket, right? Don't blow past it. Okay, so most people don't never do this because they don't really have a system watching out for it, and that's the difference, or a system that helps them answer the question of how much could I potentially convert, right? And just because it's the high watermark, um, may say you can convert up to this amount. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to convert up to that amount. That's just the high watermark. Okay, all right. And again, the most important point I can say is yes, it's a lower income year, but most people don't view that as an opportunity. But there is some silver lining behind that. Okay, so now if you're the kind of person who knows you're a delegator, someone who wants really a system in place that takes the guesswork out of things and keeps things simple and gets results. Okay, there'll be a link in the description below. You can book a 20-minute virtual with me directly, or you can head over to zenfp.com. There's a link right there that you can click as well. All right. But with that said, until next time, folks.